Claims expressed are
New
those of the
York
program
City.
producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
It's time to steer the line.
Touchdown!
Sports betting, fantasy football, and the latest NFL news. Featuring Loud Esmond, Christian Giordani, Rocky Giordani, and Jeremy James. Bet on us to make you a better.
What?
Let's get ready to steer the line.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another segment of Steer the Line. Week 4 is officially done. I'm Christian Giordani, your host and analytics expert. Next to me, we have Mr. Jeremy James, our fantasy football expert, Rocky Giordani, our ex-professional athlete, and Loud Esmond, our professional sports handicapper.
How and Rocky Giordani, who hangs out with hot chicks with big tits.
Yeah, that's kind of my go-to,
Which I'm okay with. I mean, I'm all in favor. So cool. Just throwing it out there.
All right. It's been a hectic week 4, guys, hasn't it, huh?
Crazy. How did all of these upsets and 40 burgers affect fantasy football, James? I mean, Jeremy.
Mr. James. I mean, a lot of people scored a lot of points. I mean, couldn't tell you much more than that to be, specific.
I can just say, because Jeremy says nobody cares about what happens in my fantasy football league, Christian Giordani. I'm sorry, did I just say Christian Giordani? That's funny.
You sure did.
What's the running back's name for the 49ers?
Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey, that's it. Yeah.
Me. I'm the running back for the 49ers.
Yeah, he scored 51.96 points for me and saved my ass.
You want to know something real funny? I have a little fun fact for you guys here. The 49ers, arguably the best team in football. Brock Purdy, arguably a top 10 quarterback in football right now. He still has a room to cover his rents and drives a Toyota Sequoia.
Yeah, because it's that expensive to live in San Francisco. Randy Gregory.
Yes.
Was going to be released by Denver, and then he was traded to the 49ers. Jeremy, does Gregory have an impact?
I mean, he maybe could. We've seen the guy when he's playing at the top of his game, when he's not, in some weird mental state and he's not getting himself in the mix and in trouble. When he's playing well, he has made a difference. He had 15 and a half sacks a couple of years back with Dallas. I mean, so he can rush the passer, but he seems to have been off his game in Denver. But, good on Denver for getting a draft pick for him over after all, when they had planned on just releasing him. So, the 49ers must see something. That's what they need, is another guy who can rush the passer on that defense. But, great depth for them, so it's not a bad move for a late round pick.
And
that was a great pick. They get a sixth rounder. That's all they get up for him. And you're right. He has some problems, in the locker room, and some reasons why they were going to release him. He
throwing pregnant women on beds full of handguns and
some kids act up.
Yeah,
Tuesday night in the hood, bro.
But at the same time, Randy Gregory getting added to that 49ers rush. Oh, dude, my God.
He's the guy that took Garoppolo out of the game back in 2021, remember?
He could be 70% of what he was at 100%, and he's like the third-string guy, holy S.
Yeah, he's going to make a difference. It just depends on how his attitude is, whether he plays it long or not.
It's a great acquisition for the 49ers. Yeah. It's a luxury for them. They get this. They get a guy who can, they can revive something's career, see what he has left in the tank. And
the 49ers have so much money to spend.
Yeah, good on them for freeing up all that cap space. I don't know how much of his $11 million salary, Denver's gonna have to pay like 85% of it. So they got a great player, a potentially really good player. If he works out, this is a great pickup for them, because they give up like a 6th round pick, almost nothing.
So
for a guy with a big upside.
The 49ers will only be paying about $2.5 million in change for the remainder of his contract. which is just a steal for them, which still leaves them with about, I believe, $39 million in cap
And if he
space to
doesn't
work
work
with.
out, so
How
what?
do
It
the
didn't cost them anything.
49ers have $40 million in cap space?
It's
Brock
such-
Purdy.
Yeah, it's
Oh, 1
such
year.
Purdy.
an insane, crazy contract setting. And that's great news. Another trade that happened this week. Chase Claypool went to the Miami Dolphins for, I believe, a 6th-round pick for the 2024
Nothing.
draft.
Again, nothing.
Now, Jeremy, I know you're a Dolphins guy. I know you like Chase Claypool as well sometimes. Is this a good acquisition for the Dolphins, or is this a mistake for them, seeing the effort Chase Claypool has put in this past year?
I mean, Claypool is one of those guys where people question his heart and his effort, but when he is on, he's had some good games here and there. I don't think he's really going to make an impact. I don't think he's going to, he look at the talent he's got in front of him. He's probably like the 4th receiver there, and he's still,
depth.
Maybe the 5th receiver behind, their tight end. And yeah, he's a depth guy, and, nice to have that kind of depth. But if he's looking to bounce back this season and turn his career around, I don't think it's going to happen in Miami.
I completely agree. I thought a great landing spot for him would have been Kansas City. They don't have a lot of room.
Kansas City.
They don't have a lot of guys in their wide receiver room, with Kadarius Toney being their best guy. I know Travis Kelce's a tight end, but he plays more like a receiver. Chase Claypool would have fit perfectly in that scheme with the best quarterback in football. It would have definitely gave him a better chance to get a bigger contract this year, but he ended in Miami. Rocky, I know you had something to say right now. I'll let you go ahead.
Well, again, if he works out, he's going to add. If he works out, if he works out in Miami. Okay, let's talk about the speed Miami has. Okay, and now you're throwing Chase Claypool. He's a talented receiver. Who has the speed of the cheetah? I mean, not many guys. You know what I mean? But still, this guy's a good route runner, and I think if it works out, it could. Miami needed him. If it works out, it's gonna help him a lot.
It was very obvious he wasn't work. It's very obvious he wasn't working out in Chicago in 4 games, 51 yards and 4 receptions. And he was very disgruntled with the front office as well. He did not like how they put him in the offensive scheme. He was frustrated with Justin Fields. So him going to Tua Tagovailoa and having a top 10 quarterback with 2 guys on the other side of him that are just elite puts the pressure off him, is definitely going to give him a much better chance this year.
I like it. I think both trades were good.
I just want to take a few seconds and show the fact that I have Uncle Paul's Pizza here in New York City. I'm in New York City. I'm staying at the Gotham Hotel, which, by the way, is right in the middle of everything. It's a great place. It's like if you try to get a hotel room in Midtown Manhattan, it's like $550. Here at the Gotham, it's like $225, and the service is excellent. And they let you have like pizza delivered and stuff, which other hotels won't do. So awesome. Do we want to talk about any bets?
Yeah. Let's go right into
underdog.
Let's go right into our Wonder Dog segment for those of you who don't know.
I have a question about Wonder Dogs. Christian, go into it.
Okay, so for those of you who do not know or haven't been here yet, our Wonder Dog segment is where each of us pick one pick that's an underdog this week to win out or at least cover the spread. Very face value. Rocky, I know you had one earlier today. Go ahead.
Hang on, stop for a second, because I don't think it's fair that you can pick a Wonder Dog that is like money line or -1 or -2. I think if you're going to pick a Wonder Dog, it has to be -5 at least.
Well, how about if they're underdog playing an undefeated team? Would that give them a little bit more?
No,
and they're only a 4.5
you have to look at the Las Vegas odds, and if they're not -5, they can't be a Wonder Dog. Sorry.
So going forward after this week, that's what we're going to start doing.
After this week, because there's only one team that's two teams that are over 5.
Yeah,
and they're ridiculous. They have no chance.
A +5 spread. So I'm gonna get right into mine. Going on ahead. My best Wonder Dog pick is the Jets +2.5 against the Denver Broncos. And I remember last week we were talking about this. If the Jets could steal a win from the Kansas City Chiefs, they made it a very close competitive game.
They almost did.
And that game should have been won by the Jets. 19 missed holding calls on the Chiefs within the second half, which is insane to me. But
okay, let me ask you another question. Does the Wonder Dog have to cover or win?
cover.
Just
Cover.
That's so boring.
Win. Okay, win. Yeah, win.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think a true
Oh,
underdog.
let's reset. The
a
Wonder
true
Dog
underdog
has to win.
Win.
All right,
Okay,
we'll
there
get
you
into
go.
this next week once we get all set up.
Jeremy is annoyed. I can
Okay,
tell.
so we'll get into this next week. But the Jets have been able to rush 95.5 yards per game, and the Broncos have allowed 176 yards per game rushing. Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook are going to eat up that Broncos defensive line. I can't see Russell Wilson scoring against this Jets defense. Yes, he had a good week 4, but I don't think he's going to recreate that. Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton are questionable for this game, one with a high ankle sprain, and I believe one with a sore shoulder.
Can
so I have
we
the Jets.
believe where the Jets game has gone? It was +3 Denver to open, and it's now -2.5 Jets. Is that weird to anybody?
It's -2.5 Denver.
Jets are 2.5 underdogs.
Yeah, no, Christian, I would agree with you. That might be a pick of the week, even. It's not just a underdog pick, except for it's the green slime. Otherwise, I would like that pick too. But there's no way the green slime is ever going to help anybody in a gambling situation. I'm going to go with my underdog, the Rams. I don't think the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles can come into the Rams' house, give them 4.5 points, and beat that. I think the Rams. Let me tell you what. Philadelphia plays a zone defense. My boy, Nakua Pakua, is the best zone defense route runner in the league.
Can we all agree?
They might have Cooper Kupp back. If Cooper Kupp shoots up, buddy, and he's the best route runner against any zone defense. And this is going to be a crazy game. I'm taking the Rams to cover that spread. That's my wonder dog pick of the week.
Can we all
Minnesota Vikings?
Can we all agree Puka Nakua is a dog? 39 receptions, 501 yards.
Right side of the field, at the hash mark, down the middle in a zone defense. He's going to be open all night. He'll be open all night.
My super dog to win the game, Arizona against Cincinnati.
Go,
Arizona.
boy. I like it.
Jeremy, your wonder dog pick of the week going on ahead.
I actually had the same one as Rocky, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance that with Cooper Kupp back, that could be a shootout, and that could be last team that scores wins. And I think the Rams could hang with them the way that offense is playing. They've been a lot of fun to watch, and Puka has just been lighting things up on fires. It's been fun. I didn't expect anything from the Rams. To see him out there playing hard, winning games, and having a fun offense has been cool to see.
Hey, this guy was a 5th round pick, man. Very underappreciated, very undervalued. Came out of BYU, and he's just been a dog. 39 receptions, 501 yards, leading all rookies in each category for receiving offensive
he's
yards.
a big guy, Christian. He's a big receiver. The best thing Nakua does, when they run their gap or when they run their zone offense, they run it at him because he's a great blocker. He's taking 2 guys out every play. This guy can block. He's a big receiver. He blocks on every play. When they run that zone, when they run the zone offense, usually the gap they hit is the one on Nakua's back. When they run a gap offense, they run right at him because they know he's going to hit somebody and move him.
And this kid almost went back to college after this draft, saying he needed another year recovery, and he had a talk with Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp gave him the confidence to be the receiver he's been playing as, and it's just been a phenomenal thing to see. My front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year so far. I know that's a little bit of bias coming from a Rams fan, but Jeremy, do you think he has a fighting chance to be the Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Oh, absolutely.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, fighting chance. I think he's just blowing past everybody right now, just like his defenses.
And
he's leading the league, Christian.
Loud, how upset are you that your Saints passed by this guy 5 different times?
I'm not really. The
Saints
Carson
give him the ball.
The Saints' problem is not their receivers or the quarterback. It's the offensive line. And if you don't fix the offensive line, you can't help the quarterback or any of the quality receivers or running backs. So fix the offensive line.
Game of the week, Christian.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our Wonder Dogs segment of the week. Now, I know we talked a lot about trades coming up. That
Did you say smegment?
Okay.
You can say that. Can you say
Smegma.
that?
All right.
So here,
sirs, let's get back on track to the show. We got.
Okay,
I know we talked about some trade segments that already happened, but we still have some potential trades to go through. I know we talked about Kirk Cousins going to the Jets, and is that still a possibility happening this year?
Or game of the week. Why talk about potential trades? We got a few minutes left. We need to get the game of the week.
All right, we got some great bets. Ready?
Okay. 49ers,
so
man.
In college, wait. I'm going to start with college bets. Michigan Wolverines have not lost to anybody in about a year. They have won every game by more than 22 points in their last 10 games. They are facing the Minnesota Golden Gophers, who average 6 points a game, and the Wolverines average 40, and the Wolverines defense averages giving up 6 points a game. I don't care that it's in Minnesota. I don't care that it's for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. The Wolverines win by 20. Rocky?
Yeah, I agree. Michigan's a big favorite in that game. They got no problem covering whatever that spread is.
Buffalo Bills minus 5.5 against the Jaguars in London. Yeah, the Jaguars have been there for 2 weeks. Who cares? I'm going with Buffalo minus the 5.5. I think they beat them by 18.
Yeah, well, Buffalo's putting up numbers like nobody else has. I don't know if you're Christian, if you follow the numbers on Buffalo, they've been putting up more points, winning by more higher scores than anybody since like Tom Brady back in 2007. They're just blowing it up. But
Josh,
I really think that this is gonna be a tougher matchup. I like the Bills, but I don't think they cover. I think Jaguars cover.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have had a tough time producing offense this year. Yes, they've had Calvin Ridley doing some amazing things, but Trevor Lawrence has been looking lost out there sometimes.
There is this defensive lineman who used to play for the Rams who is going over with the Bills on the plane. What's his name?
Von Miller.
Yeah, he's going to play on Sunday. Sorry, they're done.
Who's that, Christian? Who is he?
Von Miller.
Oh, Von Miller.
Ravens Steelers,
yes,
Jeremy.
He's back.
Ravens Steelers, Jeremy. Remember when these games were relevant? Ravens minus 4 at Pittsburgh. They win by 12, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Ravens right now are the best looking team in that division. The Steelers are struggling on offense. Defense is playing pretty average. They need to figure out a way to get things going on that team. But yeah, I like the Ravens probably to cover, if not kind of blow out the Steelers. I don't know if it would be a blowout, but 7 to 10 point win could be possible there.
And I know there's a big game between the Raiders and the Packers coming up, but who gives a shit?
Right.
The biggest game is 49ers Cowboys.
And Cowboys, no doubt. This has more playoff implications than anything.
I am taking the 49ers minus 3. I don't think there's a doubt in my mind that the 49ers are a better team, a more physical team, a more talented team, a better coached team with a better quarterback than the Cowboys.
I agree. Yeah. I think this is a great game for the Niners. I think it's going to be their toughest game of the year so far. It's the smallest spread they had all season, but along with the acquisitions they got,
it's in the Bay Area.
With the acquisitions the 49ers got and the losses the Dallas Cowboys have taken, I can't see Dak Prescott.
Who do you trust more, Purdy or Prescott?
Oh, Purdy.
I trust Purdy.
Wait a minute. Now these are 3-1 team, 4-0 team. If Dallas could pull off a win, they'd both be 3-1. And come playoffs, Dallas have the tiebreaker. This is a huge game for the 49ers. They have to win this game because the playoff implications down the road they could have. And then the biggest game of the year for Dallas, no doubt. this is going to be the game of the week. I like the 49ers too, but man, boy, Dallas going to play their guts out this week for sure.
This was my pick of the week, the 49ers against the Dallas Cowboys, and I love the 49ers in this game. Jeremy, how do you feel about this game?
I think it's going to be a tough game. They always play each other tough. They're rivals that go all the way back to the 90s because how they've been beating each other in the playoffs, all the years. And, but I do think that the 49ers are going to win this game. It's going to be tough for anyone to beat that team this year.
All right. So,
by the way, 49ers were my pick of the week last week, along with Lou. You released it last week for me, right? So I'm 4-0 on this year, bro, guys.
4-0. So
4-0.
I just gave out my pick of the week. Rocky, what's your pick of the week so far?
You know what, man? This is a really hard one for me, and I got to tell you, I like Pittsburgh against the Ravens. Ravens are 3-0 in that conference, 2-0 in that division. I think the Steelers' offense comes back and shows a little bit suspect. I'm telling you, Pickett is back. I like the cover, not win outright, but I like them to cover. But my game of the week, I'm gonna have to give one away, man. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
All right, I love it too.
To cover.
Jeremy, do you have a pick of the week so far?
No, I wouldn't say I have a pick of the week. I just, one of those things when you're playing fantasy football, a reminder that the Browns, Buccaneers, Chargers, and Seahawks are all on buys this week.
Right.
So make sure you adjust your lineups accordingly and get your backups and make your trades and pick up your free agents and be ready to go Sunday morning with those 4 teams on a bye.
I think Minnesota is going to scare the poop out of somebody this week.
Easy for me, Christian. Saints, moneyline Patriots, or the Saints season is over. So that's what I'm taking.
This is a must-win game for the Saints. Derek Carr is playing, I believe. Mac Jones was benched last week for, I believe, Bailey Zappi.
And by the way, for the Packers against the Raiders, Bakhtiari is out for the season.
Bakhtiari's out for the season. All right. So this, as I was saying with the Patriots game, this is a confusing season for the Patriots. They don't know what they want at quarterback. Their offensive seemed to just deploted. Bill Belichick is now in the hot seat, whether he's going to be staying as a Patriot coach or not by the end of this year. I do like the Saints a lot more to win this game because this is a must-win game for them, and the Patriots are in a lot more flexible position where they can tank or where they can continue to try to win. So I like the Saints as well this week. Any other picks for you guys so far?
Minnesota gonna cover.
Minnesota to cover, and I believe that is a. Sorry, what is the spread on that game? They're a dog. 3.5 point underdogs against the Chiefs. Yes.
Yeah, 3.5 points.
I don't know. Minnesota's got no defense.
Yeah.
If there's a get-right game,
no kidding.
For Mahomes, I think this could be it. But, the Vikings could also put up some points there. Mm-hmm. So this could be a shootout, but I think at the end, the Chiefs will probably double digits end up winning that game.
So there's about 5.
Scary game. Christian, the Bengals and the Cardinals.
So there's about.
They should have sat. If they could have went 3-1 and let Joe Burrow sit on the sidelines and heal. He's obviously injured. He can't move. He can barely breathe. Cleats, man. They should need to sit him down. They don't need him against these guys for sure. But they should have sat down for the first 5 games, like I said in the beginning of the year, because they could have went 3-1 without him. Then you have him back and healthy now. He's never gonna heal. That calf is gonna be injured. He's never gonna be able to go on that plant foot. He's going to be tired and hurt all year. They need to sit him down this week.
Well, we don't know what's going to be happening with the quarterback situation in
they won't sit him down.
Cincinnati. But there are 5 more games we still haven't covered just for you bettors out there.
Go.
Bengals -3 against the Cardinals in Arizona. Yes, it's going to be a toss-up because the Bengals have been so incredibly bad on offense this year with Joe Burrow's injury. Jamar Chase is extremely disgruntled there. He looks like he doesn't want to be there anymore. But Josh Dobbs had a great game against the Cowboys, but I don't see if he's going to recreate that for another week, along with that very, very disappointing offense.
I don't know, man. They are scrappy there in Arizona. Joshua Dobbs has held his own for the situation he's been put in. And he's been great for fantasy football. People don't realize that. I think he's like the leading rushing quarterback in the league right now. something like that, or number 2. So, go ahead and start your Arizona Cardinals against the Bengals, because I have a feeling they're going to put up some good numbers there.
My biggest question with this game is how good is the offensive line going to protect Josh Dobbs against this Bengals pass rush? Because we saw back in week 3 when the Rams' sketchy offensive line just imploded and Matthew Stafford got sacked, I believe, around 6-7 times that game. Another game we got in is the Miami Dolphins at home against the New York Giants with the biggest spread of the week, 12.5. This has been a terrible year for the Dolphins. For the Giants so far.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better.
Daniel Jones has not been the guy they thought he was going to be again.
Got 1 minute.
I think this is a bounce back game for the Dolphins. Colts plus 2.5 against the Titans. I like the Titans a lot in this game. Derrick Henry's going to have a tear. Ryan Tannehill's going to have a bounce back game.
He's a beast.
Colts are going to win that game. They're going to get their
Colts?
They're going to get their running back. They're going to. Anthony Richardson is playing lights out for a rook.
He's been a dog.
I like that.
Lions. Fun game. Running backs. 2 running backs.
Panthers go to Detroit against Lions minus 9.5. I like the Lions. Jeremy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of points.
And last game we lost. Texans plus 1.5 against the Falcons. I like the Texans. CJ Stroud has been a dog.
He is, man.
Yeah, he's playing well. Playing really well. Been impressive.
It was my pick before the draft to be the best quarterback to come out of that draft. And he is, and by the way, he probably is the best quarterback to come out of that draft.
All right, everyone.
And he's going back to Ohio to play.
Yes, sir. All right, we have been steered a line where we gave you our week 5 picks of the week. Come back next week for our week 6 picks, and we will see you guys next Friday.
Matthew Stafford against his zone.